What's doing? Happy Wednesday. I got one of these things behind me. I was asked about a while ago. Let's turn around, have a look and see what we've got. I've got some information from the owner about it, so I can tell you some actual facts, because there's people saying it's all hearsay. I've got actual facts from the owner. I've driven the car. Let's go give it a review. So here we have it, the Great Wall Cannon 2-litre turbo, stated to make 120 kilowatts and 400 newton meters out of a 2-litre. I'd like to put on the dyno. We've got other cars on the dyno to see what it actually does make, because it doesn't feel like it'd peel a bit of a custard. Rated a 3-ton towing, wouldn't probably recommend it. They put their DPFs backwards, but that's one thing. Let's have a look underneath. So we'll start at the back. We have disc brake rear, which is cool. Electric handbrake may or may not be so cool for off-roading, but yeah. What else we got? What can we see? Fuel tank looks alright, normal sort of spot. Fuel filter, probably in a bit of a dangerous spot for an off-roading vehicle. Yeah, not sure I'd probably put it there, but anyway, Colorado's do that as well, but it's a bit tucked up a bit higher. They're actually up in here, but that's on the pivot point, so I'm not sure about that. Transfer case has got a ZF box. ZF boxes are pretty good. It's a good quality gearbox. Everything else looks alright underneath here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Everything all looks fine. Yeah. So you've just done a service on it. What do you think of them?
I don't like them.
Don't like them?
Don't like them at all.
Why?
Oh, Chinese shit. You buy them for cheap and you end up spending probably like 20, 30 grand on them, and it's basically the same as a Hilux, you know? Just buy a Hilux or buy a better ute. Don't buy these Chinese stuff.
But what happens if people don't have money like this one? What are you budget orientated?
Budget, look, I mean, I would probably try and save up more, because I've had issues with other Chinese cars as well, where it's just consistent money getting thrown at them. I think the biggest one somebody ever spent was like 10 grand, get a worth of repairs on it. And yeah, it was just not good. It was just a hunk of shit, hunk of rubbish. And yeah, they fall apart. Cheaply built, cheap quality. Don't touch them. That's what I say.
I've just found Jessica bludging. What do you think of the Great Wall motor?
I don't think they're very good.
Okay. Well,
I've seen quite a few of them broken down and blown
we've got one here today. Have you had a look over it? I haven't paid much attention.
I mean, the new ones are definitely a nice upgrade, like body-wise and style-wise, from how they used to be. They used to be hideous, but yeah, I still wouldn't buy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. So under the bonnet, we've got a little turbo. DPF, I says, going backwards, but we'll talk about that thing shortly. 2-litre. I don't know what motor this is from. I'd have to do some research, but they've obviously copied it from something, but it's tiny. The back of the motor is actually in front of the front drive shafts to the CV, so it's actually sitting very far forwards. We're going to do an intake clean on this as well, so we'll see how that performs a bit later on. But it's, yeah, lots of room under the bonnet. It's sunken very low, so its centre of gravity must be pretty good. Everything's looking normal-ish under here, but yeah, it's just I don't know if I'd trust that for too long. But yeah, we'll have a look inside the car. So this one's a little bit of an up-spec model, so it has some nice interior bits. Looks like it's got plenty of room. I drove this, so there's heaps of leg room from behind where I'd sit. The interior's nice, looks pretty good. We'll get it pushed back and we'll have a look inside. Inside, same thing, it's got heaps of tech. It's got all the 360 cameras there. When you pull up at traffic lights and stuff, that comes up. Digital dash is pretty cool, stereo, steering wheel. Very Land Rover-ish collar, sort of selector there. A little bit of getting used to. And left-hand drive blinkers, I don't know why they got that. Yeah, the blinkers on the left-hand side. It's an Asian company targeting Asian countries for things. Don't know, that's a bit random. But yeah, the seats I do like. They're actually pretty comfy. And there's actually a fair bit of room inside as well. Yeah, not too bad. One weird thing, they have a step here, but when you put a tonneau cover on, you can't open the step because the bracketry for the tonneau cover stays on there, so that makes it a little bit useless. Colour I like, it's, even though it's red, it's got a very nice red. Wheels are cool. Let's talk about the problems the customer told me. All right, Kieran's going for a test drive in it now before we do the intake clean. Speaking to the customer and my driving experience. I'll go to my driving experience first. So driving it, it has very light steering when parked in the neutral, low speed stuff. When driving faster over 30 k's an hour, something like that, the steering gets heavier, which is cool for some cars, but it got heavier to the point where it was heavy and not hard to move, but you had to force it a little bit to turn, and then when it turned really quickly. So when you're not used to that, so it's a bit of a different thing to get used to, whereas a standard Hilux, Ranger, all those things, they stay same. They don't have a really vast variable steering geometry like that, which is a bit weird. The gearbox is a little bit weird in driving. It didn't like to hold gears properly and do sorts of weird things. So the ZF boxes are good, so I'm guessing it's just in the tune of the car. Plenty of room inside, no power. Comparing to my Hilux, it has no power. I wouldn't say it has 120 kilowatts. I would like to put it on the dyno. 120 kilowatts of fly is probably going to equate to 80 to 90, something like that, the wheels. So probably about right, I guess, but it definitely doesn't have 100 kilowatts of wheels like a stock. Well, even my stock Hilux makes 120 the wheel stock, but yeah, it's very slow. Wouldn't want a tow behind it. Comfortable wise, yes, definitely comfortable. Price value, he paid around 40 grand for this. So comparing to a Hilux, D-Max, Ranger, all those sorts of things, you're definitely getting a cheaper car for your money. You're getting a lot of tech for your money, but my concern is when you have the car in 5 or 10 years time, is that tech going to work, and will you get help with that tech? And yeah, it just creates more dramas in the future. Customers problems. So he bought the car, it's got 20,000 Ks on it, here for a service. Doesn't know whether it's a pre-delivery thing or just how it comes from factory. Before 600 kilometers were on the car, he actually had to regas AC because the AC had no gas in it, and it was very low and wasn't getting cold, so he did that. He's from a mechanical field, so he had to check over the car while he had it and found that everything was low on fluids. So he checked the fluids and had to basically replace every fluid in the car because either it was low or not good quality, to the point where the diff had something in it but didn't look like diff oil. The engine had something in it, didn't look like engine oil. So he's replaced every fluid in the car at 600 kilometers. So that's pretty poor effort. I don't know if it's a dealer, pre-delivery thing, or if that's just, as long as they check the fluids and they go out, so it's a manufacturer problem. I don't want to throw knives out there, but just be aware that if you are buying one, probably check the fluids because, yeah, they're obviously not very great. The DPF. So we're talking about DPF. It's got 20,000 Ks on this car. He said in an hour and a half to 2 hour drive, it'll try and burn 3 times in that hour and a half of driving. If it doesn't get to burn, it'll go into limp mode. He has already been back to the dealer a couple of times to try and get the thing to force burn, because it does have a force burn button, but it wouldn't do it. He plugged the scan tool in, it said only had 11% of DPF soot calculations, and it wouldn't do a burn. Other people I'm hearing are having the same problems with the DPFs continuously trying to burn, and then it goes into a limp mode and you try and force burn it, or take it to the mechanic and get them to plug a scan tool in. So that's a big problem. Auto, he did say when it's cold, it doesn't want to shift and do weird things down low at low speed. So he has to warm the car up every morning before he drives it, because then otherwise he'll be hunting around doing weird things with the auto. And there was something else he said, but I can't remember what it was. There's a couple of different things he was saying. He's just having some issues with the car. Otherwise, he's super happy with it for the price he's paid, what he's got. Like I said, it's nice to drive. If you're putting around town, definitely wouldn't be wanting to put a big caravan on the back of it, or towing a drift car like I do. The DPF is an issue. We can attend to that. If you do have the opportunity to want to do that, we can attend to that with some solutions for those things. So you can check our website, but we can definitely tune the car as well and get that sorted. It probably won't fix, it'll fix the power a little bit, won't fix the auto. I haven't played with the autos in these ones yet, so it might be worthwhile looking into. But overall results, what I would say is, if you're in the budget for one, you can pick one up probably in the low 40s, high 30s, new. If that's your budget, by all means go for it, but just be aware of what you're getting and what you're paying for. You probably get a second-hand Hilux or Ranger or something like that for good value and will last longer. But if you want that new car, you've got warranty, take it back for what you can. I probably wouldn't buy one myself, just because of the Chinese factor of it all, and it just doesn't feel right, the car. Like, I don't know, just driving it, I wasn't steady, sturdy, solid, I don't know. And then just weird driving with the steering wheel and the weird driving with the auto, lack of power, all those things. Comfort-wise was really good, like I said a few times, but no, I wouldn't buy one. There's heaps of problems with the DPFs on these things from what I've found out about, and my major concern would be if they're not getting checked properly at the dealership for oils and things. So that's it, that's the Great Wall. Let me know what you guys think. I'll go do some digging. If you want me to throw on a dyno, bring it down. I'll do it for you if you've got one. Let's do some testing. But yeah, check out our YouTube stuff. We've got heaps of details on there as we're going to depth with all these different model cars we do and tuning. But hit me up with some more questions. Hit me up with some other cars. Let me know. Talk to you soon. Have a good day.